Hello everyone, we are here to do an update to the lighting tutorial. Okay, we're going to start with the 555 timer chip, but I'm not going to do much with it right now. I'm going to show you I have it working. I'm going to actually do the 555 timer chip video very soon. I just have to do a little bit more research on the different variants of it, and I haven't done that yet. I have time to do that coming up on Thursday. I got all day Thursday with nothing to do but this. That's not 100% true. I got a lot of things to do in my build pile over there. We'll talk about that in a very future video. Okay, but getting back to this, I want to show you I got the 555 up and running. You can probably see there is a little light blinking there. This will help a lot. Okay, and I'm going to zoom her in to let you see one of the problems with the 555 timer chip. We have the 4060 up here and you see very few wires on it. Okay, the 555, however, yeah, there's a 4060 up here. Very few wires. I still have my rheostat there so I can change the timing resistor. The 555, a spaghetti mess of wires. It's also got 3 resistors driving it, whereas the 4060 has 1. There's reasons for the 3 resistors. We're going to get into those when I hit the 555 video. Alright? But one reason why you bother with the 555 is it can do more than blink. The 4060 can do a lot of different blink rates at once, but it just blinks. The 555 can strobe, and it can invert strobe, and we'll talk about that when I do that video. Okay, now the reason I'm showing you the 555 is something ModelManTom put in front of me. He reviewed this on one of his videos, and I'm going to review it as well, because I don't know how many of you, I suspect probably well over half my subscribers are also subscribed to him, but we're just going to review it as well. What I have here is a nice little Android pad. This, I'm going to show you an Android app for electronics. I didn't play with it soon enough to turn it on. Okay, this is my Android pad. It's a G-Tab. It's a ViewSonic G-Tablet. I bought it and hacked it. It's not running the stock G-Tablet OS, and I'm not going to get into any of that right now, because that's not what this video is about. What I want to show you is Electrodroid. Okay, so let me put the video camera on this. It's a little too close so you guys can see it. We have some syncing refresh rate issues, but what we have here, and I'm going to rearrange the camera a little bit so I'm not holding this thing the entire time, because that's just going to get a bit annoying. Alright, what we have here is a big list of things. Let me hit the back button real quick. We have a list of different options right there. Ignore that sound, it's just reminding me I have mail. We have a resistor code, color code chart. We have different resistor codes. We have an inductor color code. We have Ohm's law. We have reactance calculator. We have filters, voltage divider, resistor ratios, capacitor to charge. Scrolling down a little further, we got operational amplifier, resistance for LED diode. That's a good one. We have the 555 calculator. We have a battery life calculator. You know, when you get more and more into some of the electronic stuff, some of this will be a lot better for us. But I'm just going to show you the things that really apply to us. Resistance color code. Okay. Now, this is broken up into 3 different stripes. 3 different bands for a reason. 4 bands, actually, for a reason. Let's say I pick up a resistor, and I don't know what its resistance is, but I can read the color stripes on it. I have a green, I have a purple, and then I have a blue. And it'll tell me what the value of the resistance is up the top. Right there. Over here we have silver is for 10%, gold is for 5%. The 5% is plus or minus 5% of the value here. So I no longer have to get my voltmeter out. I can just grab this thing, type in the color bands, it'll tell me what the resistance is. Very neat and handy. Alright? Scrolling down a little further, Ohm's law might be good for some of you guys when you're first starting on working with this stuff. Resistance for LED diode. Okay, so I can set my voltage up here. Let's say I want to use a 9-volt power supply. So I'm going to change that to 9 volts, hit OK. Let's say the voltage on my LED, I'm using a white one, so I'm going to do 3.2. And it tells me I need a 580 ohm resistor. Very nice. There's websites to do this, but this is very, very nice. And you can click a box over here to give you standard resistors, which tells me I need a 560 ohm resistor, because 580 is not standard. If you know the laws of resistance, you can fix that. You can get a 580 ohm resistor. So that's nice. Okay. Another thing here is the 555 calculator. I'm going to go over this a lot better when I do the 555 timer chip. Okay. But for right now, let me explain a couple of things on here. I've already set the capacitor and the resistance the way I want them. Okay. I'm using a 4.8 microfarad capacitor because that's what I have on my breadboard. I have two 1 kilo ohm resistors there. And then the thing up here is the frequency. Okay. You'll notice that frequency says 100 hertz. That frequency is the blink rate. 100 hertz means it's blinking 100 times a second. That's so fast the human eye just can't tell it. So let me change R1 here. I'm going to change R1 to 6 kilo ohms. That changes the blink rate to 23.12 hertz. So 23 times per second that thing's going to blink. You'll be able to see that, but it's too rapid. So we're going to put that back to 1 ohm. We're going to change R1 this time to 6. And we got 37.5 kilohertz. Okay? We're going to change R1 to 2 this time. And I have 75. I'm going to change this to 100. I'm changing R2 to 100 here. Now I got 1.43 hertz. That means it's going to blink 1.43 times per second. You will be able to see that blink rate. So let's say I'm watching Star Trek and I want to get the navigation lights proper. I can look at this, I can find that blink rate with a stopwatch, watching the show, and then I can put the frequency up here. Let's say I want that frequency to be 2. It will adjust my resistance to give me twice per second for a blink rate. 2 hertz is 2 times per second. If I want that to blink once a second, I'll just put a 1 there, hit OK, and now I know my resistance for blinking once a second. If I want it to blink once every 2 seconds, I put 0.5 there. And now it'll blink once every 2 seconds, and I have my resistance for that. So that's what this thing's for. It's to tell you the blink rate when you set up your calculations. Alright? Now, we also have the battery life calculator. I usually do that by hand. I'm not going to get into the battery life calculator. We're going to click over here to Pinouts. Now, this is kind of interesting because it gives pinouts for USB. Let's say you want to power a model with a USB port. You always carry a model around with your laptop, and you want a little blinking Enterprise. You can click that. It'll show you what the power cable is on the USB port. Okay? Just in case you really want to know. We also have, and my favorite one in here, because I used to do a lot of computer repair, is a Molex connectors in here. I remember seeing the Molex connector. It has the ATX power connectors, so you want to know what the different voltages are on a power connector. If you really want to go crazy and build your own power supply, you can use a computer power supply in different combinations of these pinouts to get different voltages. You can do that. And it also gives a Molex connector in here somewhere. And I don't remember where, but I remember seeing it. Okay? So that's kind of nice. Resources. Now we're going to go over here to the resources. Okay? table of standard resistors. So it'll tell you the standard resistor values here. It won't give you the color codes, but if you need to know, can I find a 375 ohm resistor, I can come down here and look for a 375 ohm resistor. And the answer is no. We got 370 and 378. That means I would have to do some work with different resistors to get that. We also have table of standard capacitors, and we have IC pinouts. Okay, that's not what I want. Sorry about that. Scrolling down in here, we have switch information. It'll tell you the different kinds of switches and what they look like. Okay, single pole, single throw, double pole, single throw. Some of that is necessary because if I want to click a switch and turn on two different circuits, I would need a double pole switch. Okay, so it gives you the circuit diagrams and all that for that. Switch information's there. It also gives circuit symbols. So if you don't know what different circuit symbols are, they are all listed here. Every single one of them you could ever dream about is there. Okay. Somewhere in here is chip pinouts. Let me try that one again. Okay, that's not what I expected. I know that there is a different timing chip pinout in here somewhere. There's a list of batteries, but these are all the button cell batteries. These are not AA's. They give their capacity in milliamp hours. The capacity in milliamp hours is what I use to calculate whether I should use a battery or a wall wart. Alright? Scrolling through here. Yeah, it's all button cells. It doesn't give you anything other than button cells. I could sworn I found this earlier, and it would figure since I'm doing this live. I can't find it. It gives you wire sizes. In case you need to know the wire size on different gauge number. Okay. And I could have sworn it gave a chip pinout. But no, this is pick chip pin information. Apparently he's done an update on it and I didn't catch the update. Because there was a list of SI unit prefixes, just in case you want to know what giga means. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what happened to it. It was probably here. And let's try typing a part number in here. I'm just going to try typing something. Let's see what happens. 4060. Search. Oh, I got the 4060 pinout. So that's where the pinouts happen. You're going to have to type in what you're looking for. And it gives you the pinout for the 4060 timing chip. So there you go. That's the Android app I wanted to review. The name of the app is called Electrodroid. Okay. Let's pull up the info screen so you guys can see that. Electrodroid version 2.5. There's a free version that has advertisements at the bottom. I'm sure you guys saw the ads running. You can pay for it. I'm probably going to pay for this version pretty soon because it's not expensive. If I remember right, it's pretty cheap and I can see a lot of use out of this. I'm going to exit it. There it is again. There's its thing. It's Electrodroid for Android. I'm sure there's an Apple equivalent of it somewhere. I just don't know what it is.